Welcome to Barca News. It is November 8th, 2025, and Deco has confirmed that there will be no winter transfer market signings. Also, Gilberto Mora confirming interest from Europe. And finally, Julian Alvarez leaving the door open for a possible exit. We have a lot to discuss, so let's begin. Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Mo, and we'll begin today's video with the news that the Royal Spanish Football Federation has announced the list of players that they will be calling up in this FIFA international break, which is set to begin next week. So tomorrow we have the match. Well, technically it's already today in Spain, but today we have the match against Celta Vigo, and right after that, the third FIFA international break will begin, and Spain has released the list of players that they will be calling up. Now, let's look at the list of the players, and first, we're gonna remove this because this moved on me while I was playing the intro song. But this is the official list of the Royal Spanish Football Federation for all called up players, and guess what? As you can see on the list, well, first of all, we have 5 Barcelona players. We have Pau Cubarsí, Dani Olmo, Ferran Torres, Fermín López, and Lamine Yamal. Yes, you heard that right, ladies and gentlemen. Despite injuring Lamine Yamal during the first FIFA international break, and as a result, Lamine ended up missing so many matches with Barcelona and ended up missing the second FIFA international break, Luis de la Fuente has once again called up Lamine Yamal to the FIFA international break. And of course, this has not sat well with Barcelona because Lamine is not even fully recovered, right? Lamine is still dealing with that pubalgia injury. Hansi Flick confirmed that today during a pre-match press conference. But of course, Luis de la Fuente, being the piece of shit that he is, he simply does not care and has called up Lamine Yamal. Now, there are currently reports stating that Barcelona are in talks with the Royal Spanish Football Federation to try to reach a pact where, okay, if you're still going to call them up, if you still don't care about the health of your players, then how about we reach a pact where the minutes of Lamine Yamal are limited? So we'll see whether a pact is reached, and even if it is, we'll see if that piece of shit, Luis de la Fuente, even honors this pact. But Barcelona, since they cannot prevent Lamine Yamal from going to the national team, they're going to try to at least limit his minutes because I think they're playing Georgia and some other teams. So technically, they don't even need Lamine Yamal. I mean, Spain should be capable of beating Georgia without Lamine. Now, speaking of Lamine and his injury, it's been revealed that Barcelona have contacted a very famous Finnish doctor. When I say Finnish, I don't mean like he's done, but I mean like he's from Finland. But they have contacted a Finnish doctor. He's a surgeon, very high-profile surgeon. He has operated on many high-profile players, including Barcelona players like Ronald Araujo, Alejandro Balde, Ousmane Dembélé, Sergi Roberto, also Angel Alarcón. But this doctor's name is Dr. Lassi Lampainen. I'm pretty sure I butchered his name, so I'm sorry, doctor, for butchering your name. But Dr. Lampainen, very famous doctor, very famous surgeon, has operated on many high-profile players, and Barcelona have contacted him to try to find a solution to the pubalgia that Lamine Yamal has been dealing with. Of course, pubalgia is it's an injury to the muscles that right around the pubic bone. It's something that doesn't go away on its own because those muscles get irritated and cause pain because of use, especially when you're a football player. That happens. Messi dealt with that for a very long time. So it's not something that just goes away overnight. It's not something like other injuries where, okay, you're out for a few weeks, you do some physical therapy, blah, 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 and then boom, you're good to go, right? This is something that can persist for a very long time. So Barcelona have contacted Dr. Lampainen to see what solutions there could be. Now, Barcelona right now ruling out any surgery. They're not at the point where surgery is needed. So they have requested the doctor's input to see what they can come up with to help Lamine Yamal deal with this condition and to help Lamine Yamal hopefully recover from it without any surgical intervention. And this was confirmed by the doctor himself, who spoke to Finnish media outlets and confirmed that, yes, he had had an extensive talk to the head doctor at Barcelona, who's, of course, Dr. Ricard Bruna. So hopefully Barcelona can find a solution to this, and hopefully Lamine Yamal can be done with this injury. I'm sure this call-up to the national team is not going to help, but hopefully we could see Lamine Yamal 100% fit pretty soon. Now, on to the next bit of news, because Deco has ruled out any possible signings during the winter transfer market. And this is what the sporting director had to say. If we are doing well and there are no surprises, I don't think it's necessary. We know exactly where we can improve and the difficulties we face. Last season, we also went through some difficult moments and we were able to overcome them. Of course, talking about that dip in form during the months of October and November, and eventually Barcelona bouncing back after the winter break. When we lower the intensity, we suffer. We need to have the best players. There are no excuses, but when you can't make changes because of injuries and they affect our midfield, there are things to improve even when we win. So Deco stating that no signings will be done in the winter transfer market. And I talked a little bit about this during the MoCast. The MoCast is the exclusive podcast for channel members only. If you want to be able to watch those, you can do so by becoming a member. But I talked about this a little bit. I said that I don't think we should sign in the winter for two reasons. Number one reason is because winter transfer market, the pool of available players is very, very small. You don't have that many options, so you're much better waiting until the summer where you have a bigger pool of players available. And, you know, given our limited finances, limited our financial fair play, it makes more sense to save our money to make a good investment in the summer when there's plenty of options, rather than make it on whatever player in the winter just because then we need to bring someone in. The second reason why I think we should stay away from signing anyone in the winter, because I think right now the problem is not necessarily a lack of depth in the bench because we don't have the players. I think it's a lack of depth in the bench because we have so many injuries. So we do have players to compete, but a lot of them are injured. You know, Rafinha, Juan Garcia, Ferran Torres, Robert Lewandowski, Lamine Yamal, Pedri, all these players have been injured. Dani Olmo. So I think that's more our problem right now. Now, of course, in the summer, we will need to reinforce, but I think it's better that we wait until then rather than the winter. And of course, I'm curious to hear you guys' thoughts. Should we sign in the winter? If so, what positions would you reinforce? Keep it in mind, of course, our limited budget and limited financial fair play. Now, Deco also had some words of support for Hansi Flick, given that he's been coming under criticism for the team's performance. And he said the only thing that cannot be disputed is the idea of a coach who won what he won, who brought us joy. We are a little too strict. Being at Barca means that sometimes we must not let ourselves be influenced. And with this, I agree. I brought this point up before. Said, look, Flick, very successful coach. He won us 3 trophies on our first season after this team has been a total fiasco for years. So who am I to doubt his judgment? But apparently there's a lot of people out there who think they know better than Flick. But those people does not include Deco. Now, on to the next bit of news, because we do have an update in regards to Gilberto Mora, someone we've been talking about for quite some time. 17-year-old Mexican midfielder, can also play as a winger. Currently plows his trade in the Mexican team, Club Tijuana. He is someone who's had a meteoric rise, has caught a lot of attention from many, many European clubs. And after his great performance in the Under-20 World Cup, he has now been called up to the senior Mexican national team under Javier Aguirre. Now, we talked about Gilberto Mora before because I told you Barcelona were tracking him. They were interested in signing him. But, of course, after his agent, the daughter of the late, oh, my God, I'm blanking on his name, Mino Raiola, she came out and said that she wasn't going to allow, her player to be sold for like the 10, 50 million euros that they were talking about. And now Club Tijuana are saying they're not going to let him go for less than 30 million. So that, I think, kind of rules out Barcelona signing him. But nonetheless, Gilberto Mora did confirm that there's been a lot of interest in him from European clubs, when he said, I've managed to get several clubs to contact me. I don't know, but I try to focus on my football on the pitch, which is the most important thing. And it will happen on its own. The mental aspect is very important for a footballer. One of the most important things is to always have a winning mentality. Always striving for more and more. I have always tried to maintain that mentality to be at big clubs. So Gilberto Mora confirming that he's received calls from many European clubs. Of course, one of them is Real Madrid, also Barcelona, but I don't think this is happening if Club Tijuana insists on the 30 million euros. Now, let's end this video with the last bit of news, and this one regarding Julian Alvarez, because as you know, Julian Alvarez has been linked to Barcelona multiple times. He was asked about it, and this is what the Atletico Madrid attacker had to say. In Spain, there's a lot of talk about me and Barcelona. When I signed for Atletico last year, there was a lot of talk about Paris, talking about PSG, of course. It is true that there were talks between PSG's management and my agent. They showed interest in signing me, but nothing materialized. For now, I'm focused on Atletico. We will talk at the end of the season. So Julian Alvarez, confirming that PSG were interested in him before Atletico signed him. By the way, huge mistake. I don't understand why he thought that was a good move, but nonetheless, I think it would have been even a better move to go to PSG. He would have at least won a treble. But Julian Alvarez saying, for now, I'm focused on Atletico. We will talk at the end of the season. So that seems to me like Julian Alvarez is definitely leaving the door open to leaving Atletico, because otherwise he would have said, I'm an Atletico player. I've signed for them. I want to stay here. I have a contract, blah, blah, blah. But instead he says, I'm focused on football now. We'll talk about it later. So it looks like he is leaving a door open. But whether he comes to Barcelona, I think that's a big no, because they're saying Atletico Madrid would want something around 150 million. Something, of course, that Barcelona cannot afford. Anyways, that is all the news for this video. I did upload another video several hours ago. If you haven't seen it yet, make sure to check it out. Tomorrow we're playing against Celta Vigo, and of course I'm doing the watch along and the post-match live analysis. So I'll see you guys in those videos, and as always, be Barca.